Let's do the Malcolm Jamal All Lives Matter. I've been meaning to do this one forever, and we're just going to.
There were so many people.
Oh, I know this fucking clip. Alright.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, guys, if this is like a couple months old, but I just never got around to it.
There were so many people, who love to say, well, what about white lives matter and all lives?
Black people on the show.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I always love when I love the new thing that these Black Lives Matter activists are doing. It all started with D-Ray, where they speak with this look at the eyebrows. You see the pleading eyebrows. You see the shoulders pulled back.
Yeah.
D-Ray's even worse. D-Ray talks like someone who's afraid the person he's talking to is going to rape him. I mean, he constantly has the body language of an abuse victim. It's really fucking disappointing.
Oh God.
This guy does the same thing. He's essentially, and I hate to use the phrase, but he's essentially appears to be putting on the body language of looking at massa. Like, listen, I just need your help. Don't do nothing now. Like, come on.
He's just so upset about this. He's carried those upset, outraged emotions all the way to this interview.
Yeah, I'm sure they're completely legitimate too.
Yeah, not crocodile tears in any way.
Lives matter. And it's like, yes, that's true. We recognize that. But Black Lives Matter is not, we're not ignoring that all lives matter, but we're
just focusing on dead criminals that happen to be black.
Honestly, and this might be a controversial opinion, because I disagree with Black Lives Matter, obviously, for their rhetoric, and I think they're factually wrong. But if it weren't for their shenanigans, I don't think I'd really have a problem with them. I think I could even kind of get behind them. Like, you know what? You guys are fine. You're harmless. Whatever. But it really is the taking over political events, making asses of themselves,
blocking traffic,
attacking
attacking citizens. That's always good.
At that point, you really can't sympathize.
Yeah.
Seeing a prevalence of black people who are being literally murdered.
Nope.
Literally murdered, eh?
Nope. Not only that, it's not a prevalence statistically. So both of your facts are wrong.
And I hate to be that guy, but God, who's killing black people?
More unarmed white kids were shot than unarmed black kids. More white kids with toy guns were killed than black kids were killed with toy guns. Your narrative is utter horseshit.
Yeah, and you know what? I would actually be really willing to get behind Black Lives Matter if their first priority was, acknowledging the black on black crime,
or if their whole movement was just focused on police oversight and police brutality, and they weren't basing it all on race.
Yeah, I would agree with them then too. But it's like they take half of each and they try to combine it, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
We've been being murdered since we've been brought to this country.
No, you don't murder your property, stupid. That's like saying we murdered horses. Nobody murders horses just because we own them. It's stupid.
Yeah, like people. I mean, you can say that about anyone. Like, people have been murdered in this country all the time. Like, yeah. Sorry, is there something we can do about that? It's done.
Yeah, well, listen, what he's saying, somehow and subconsciously he's admitting, is that you just have to ignore some black murders for a while. Just to even the score. Because we've murdered black people, we just have to ignore some black people's murdering now. I mean, it's just to be even.
Look, it's completely justified. They're just enraged over the white supremacist system they live in. And they have to get some of those feels out, some of those wiggles.
Yeah.
But Black Lives Matter for us this is what we're seeing we're not seeing white people being murdered almost daily by.
You're not seeing black people being murdered almost daily, and you're ignoring the white people that are being killed because you're a bigot.
I mean, that alone is ridiculous. I would bet that every day a white person is killed by the police.
Yeah, but you have to understand, only young black men can be a dindu. A white guy, if he gets shot, it's because he's a criminal and he deserves to get shot. We've acknowledged that criminals are okay to kill. It's just black criminals don't count.
Yeah, that's the problem too. You know, look, I don't want to see criminals get shot if we can prevent it, but at the same time, if someone who was, you know, actively fighting the police or trying to hurt other people is shot and killed, well, too fucking bad. Maybe he shouldn't have been committing crimes.
Yeah.
Maybe he shouldn't have been threatening people's lives.
Yeah, you for sure shouldn't be threatening people's lives. Like I've made this joke before. I have 9 separate arrests. I've never been punched by a cop. Do you know how you do that? You get arrested like a good boy. You say, "Oh, I got caught," and you don't resist arrest. You don't argue with the authorities. You put your hands behind your back and you get in the back of the goddamn car.
That's much too sensible for.
I've never even had a gun drawn on me when I didn't need it drawn on me. For fuck's sake, just don't be an idiot.
Hagbard Celine, model prisoner.
Yeah, be a model prisoner.
Police brutality. We're not seeing Latino people being murdered.
Okay, now that's just a damnable racist lie. If you want to talk about fucking infighting, you're gonna say Latin people don't get shot? Really?
And this is another problem with Black Lives Matter, because they don't just not care about white people. It really is everyone. They only care about themselves.
The only thing that matters is there's black bodies being killed, dog. There's black bodies in these streets.
It's so strange, and the reason they're able to do it is, to me, a big part of the reason so many movements latched onto feminism, because it was already popular. Black people are a minority, but compared to a lot of other minorities, they are large in number.
Well, they're visible, because technically they're well outnumbered by the Hispanic population.
And they have a lot of these historical points that they latch onto.
Yeah.
And you know, like no other group does, really.
Well, there's no infighting. There's no secondary infighting in the black community. You've got Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, people from South America, people from South Central America, and they don't all consider themselves one group.
Yeah, no.
However,
I've never
black
even heard
Americans all consider themselves one group, in spite of the fact that they're no more one group than white Americans. But
yeah, it's so weird, because they're always talking about, like, oh, my culture, you know, my heritage. Like, then why aren't you saying, like, I'm from Nigeria?
yeah.
Why is it
what do you
all,
know about
"We're
your
from
culture or
Africa"?
heritage? Fuck all. You know nothing about your culture or heritage. Stop pretending like you do.
They won't even acknowledge the brutality of the cultures they came from, like we all came from. They like to paint it like Africa, like thousands of years ago, Africa was just this utopia.
Listen, everyone knows the lion and the black man lived side by side in peace until the white man taught the lion to hunt the black man.
And named him Aslan.
Everyone knows that. That's the real story of the Lion King. Look that shit up, dog.
That was the secret meaning behind it. Of course, they appropriate African scenery for a play written by a white man. Of course,
White
they
stealing everything from the black man.
do. And there weren't even black people in that movie.
I know.
Almost on a daily basis. So when we say Black Lives Matter, again, there's this misconception that whenever we are
Yeah, always a good sign.
Oh,
Well, again, he's going to say it's like we're pro-black as opposed to... You just ignored the police brutality against, very pointedly, 2 other races, but pretty much any other group of people that aren't black. You just very pointedly did that.
yeah.
And you're now just going to say,
Pro-black.
no, it didn't watch. It's going to be like, no, that's not it, watch.
pro-black, it means anti-white or anti-everything else, and it's frustrating.
I agree. Your behavior's frustrating because you just said exactly what you're saying you're not saying right now.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. Yeah, I'm pro-black, and as someone in favor of black people in America, if you want to acknowledge problems, maybe look towards what's going on in your own groups.
Of course, you want to make a motherfucker flinch, say you're pro-white.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't even say that. Like I'm a person who could not give a shit less about race, and I'm actually appalled that I have to talk about it so goddamn much on this podcast.
Yeah, me too.
Because other people who who are just boring, bland motherfuckers find identity in this. Oh, I'm so special. Look how persecuted I am. I can get away with anything. No, fuck this guy.
Yeah, anyone who starts a sentence with "as an XYZ," you need to just bail from the conversation. There's nothing to be had there. Listen, as a black man, listen, as a gay man, listen, as a... no.
Can
No.
we just talk as people? Let's talk man to man.
Let's just talk as human beings. Let's just do that, because this is getting old. It's just getting very, very tiresome. And at some point, when narratives start flip-flopping, I won't be held responsible.
I mean, I don't see how they think this movement can end well.
I have no idea.
They are so vilified already.
They have no clue, because they live in an echo chamber. They live in their own little box on Black Twitter, and they don't ever interact with other people.
And it's another problem, like that the one leader from Black Lives Matter in I believe Toronto was saying all that anti-white shit.
Yeah, well, you gotta question a black Muslim. I mean, you just do.
Yeah, there is that, but it's like the problem at this point. The problem isn't just some fringe group. No, like it is the leadership. The problem trickles down here.
Yeah, it's been the leadership.
The problem started when this movement was formed.
Yeah.
It was a problem movement from the get-go.
I can tell you, I told people when I first moved here, I actually moved here from Florida when this all started. And one of the major, it wasn't because I was already in the process.
They drove you out.
But I land here and I look back and go, oh shit, a movement called Black Lives Matter started coming out of Central Florida, right out of Sanford? Yeah, this ends well. Like, I know these people, especially know these older women. These people are out of their goddamn mind. Half of them are voodoo practitioners, and I'm not being facetious. Half of them still practice voodoo.
You know who practices voodoo? Azalea Banks.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah, I was posting shit today. She got a lock of hair from Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, and she was like mixing it in a pot of like Wiccan shit. I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and don't worry, there's a chick called Dragon Feather. Crazy comes in all color. Okay.
Oh god.
Listen, when black people do it, they call it voodoo. When white kids do it, they call it Wicca. It's all the same shit. It's all the same dumb crazy.
I have had people say like, "Oh, I heard you're going through a tough time. I'm going to send your troubles."
I'll be sending you good energies.
like, hey, look, if you want, I'm waiting for the good juju.
Yeah, it's the same with prayers. I've stopped being angry. I just go, yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah, if you insist.
And it's frustrating how people can get on social media and hide behind their avatars and say really nasty things about people of color when, there was another post I put out that black people are literally saying, stop killing us. And people are saying, but...
I'm done with that. That's honestly how he sees that, you fucking delusional twat.
It's just people hiding behind their avatars.
Yeah, and we're just murdering black people, just walking around in the streets, just murdering black people, because that's how that's going down.